Hello. Oh my gosh. Yahoo. Thank you for picking up. That one rang for a while. Are you busy? もしもし Am I coming through okay? Yay! Yeah, I'm moving. I'm schmoving. I'm not really ready for my day yet, though. I'm not gonna lie. Last several calls in a row, I've just opted for voice only because I didn't have the time to shower or I just didn't look my best. And I'm not gonna lie, I did not shower yet this morning. But I did take a really good bath plus shower like right before I went to sleep. So I'm not like I'm not stinky or dirty or anything. But yeah, I haven't properly woken up yet. I threw on my uniform really quickly, or as much of it as I felt like putting on. No, don't call me stinky. Don't call me stinky. I'm not stinky. I'm not stinky. It's just not true. All right. Let's be reasonable now. Uh, what time is it here? It is 9:01 in the morning. I need to work my way back to sleeping when I want to sleep, which I'm really close to it already. Waking up because I've been waking up at 9 or 10 the last several days. And the reason I've been waking up at 9 or 10 is because I'm going out for meals pretty late with my friends. But before that, I was waking up at 7 or 8, and I want to go back to that. So, since I'll be able to start streaming again, basically tomorrow, probably, I expect that it'll be easier for me to keep that schedule. Mm, yeah, so I'm awake at 9 now. I haven't had my breakfast. I haven't I haven't I haven't showered. I haven't gotten anything ready. I just threw on my clothes. Mm. Yeah, thank you for stopping by. Teehee. うん、配信再開って何？おめでとうございます。What is 再開? Teach me a new word. 新しい言葉だよ。配信再開。再開は I've learned so many new words recently. Oh, restarting. Reunion? Oh, I know that. Oh, because of the Harumaki Gohan song. That's probably my favorite song by Harumaki Gohan. 立派な背を伸びた。Do you know that song? That song's called Saikai. Saikai. I knew that word. I just didn't think hard enough. That's how I learn and remember words the best in Japanese personally. I learn it in a song. Mm. So it's like in that context, in the context of that song, it's reunion, right? But in other contexts, it seems like you can use it as like a resumption, like starting something again that was ended temporarily or previously. Is that how that word works? I've learned so many new words. Recent one was kaisha. That was a word I learned recently. Uh, oh my goodness. I need to decide how much of that story I want to tell you. Mm. And yeah, it's nice to see you. Nice to be able to talk with you. I haven't been as available the last week or two. uh, yeah. Why am I naked? I just woke up. I'm still waking up. Oh my gosh. Did the earthquake scare me? Oh yeah, it did. Are you okay? Was everything okay for you? Were you anywhere near? It was, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. It was my first time experiencing a proper earthquake in my life. Because I've experienced an earthquake or two over the years, but they were very small. I lived in an area with a very high altitude, very removed from all that kind of stuff. So honestly, the only natural disaster that we dealt with in Kokiri Village was flash flooding if there was extensive rain. Or there were a few really, really bad blizzards actually. Yeah, come to think of it, that was our like regional national disaster of choice was always the blizzards. We'd get really, really heavy snow and I'd get snowed in with my family for weeks. Genuinely, one the worst of it, I was stuck in my house for 2 weeks and there was nobody to shovel us out. So we were stuck there. But anyway, this is my first time experiencing a proper earthquake. Uh, and it was kind of scary. I was asleep at the time, but I woke up to the movement. Like I could feel the room moving. Thankfully, it's interesting. The hotel that I'm staying in is very like old style. Like it has a very vintage appeal that called to me when I saw it online. Despite that, I think it's actually a modern construction. So, so yeah, the building is made to withstand things like earthquakes. So it was all just fine. There was no damage. Everybody's totally safe. Yeah, but I hear that this was a bad one. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm upset that this kind of thing happens in general, right? Because it can be very scary for other people. But I'm kind of happy that I got to experience one this early and in an environment like that. Like for example, where I wasn't streaming, because I feel like if it happened while I was live, I'd be kind of scared. Yeah. Yeah, it was a 5 for Tokyo, it seems. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. 5.9. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't have any frame of reference for what it's like per number. This is my first time. But I wasn't really, I don't know, I was disoriented and I was a little scared in the moment because I had just woken up. I woke up to it. I wake up because I'm moving, and now my phone's like, "Bwam, bwam, earthquake, bwam, bwam, earthquake." I'm like, "What's going on? Do I get under a table?" Or so yeah, I just scrambled out of my bed with my eyes still closed, and I moved to the nearest table and I covered my head like they taught me in elementary school. But yeah, it was fine. It was just fine. Yeah, very calm, relaxing, reassuring warning signal that they have on my phone here. Oh my goodness. But yeah, just to reassure you, I was totally fine. I wasn't particularly scared. I was just a little scared because I was still waking up. I was disoriented and I didn't know what was going on. That was the scary part for me. But other than that, I know logically that I'm safe and that even in a really serious earthquake, as long as I'm like here, I'm fine. It was made to withstand them. It will be just fine, even on a like a higher floor. So yeah, I know that I'm safe logically, so I'm not afraid. Yeah. Peace sign. Yeah, I hope everyone else is safe and okay. And aside from any like physical safety, I hope everyone is feeling okay because again, those kinds of things, even if you're used to them, they can be kind of scary and kind of disorienting. Yeah, at the very least, I hope that you are like not worried for me or anything. I'm just fine. I was totally okay in minutes. And honestly, even before then, again, I was fine. I was just disoriented. I didn't know what was going on. Yeah, baby's first real earthquake. Uh, yeah, I hope everybody's okay. It's been a bit now though, but yeah. Oh my goodness, I've had a very eventful 2 weeks. Yeah, lots of rain too. Come to think of it, it's been raining like crazy. I've had this running joke that my umbrella is a like a charm that wards off rain. I like to walk out in the rain, unless it's like boiling hot rain. That's kind of unpleasant because then you're like sticky and just boiled in the water. But otherwise, I actually really like being in the rain. I love walking out in the rain, whether or not I've got an umbrella. Um, yeah, it's been raining like crazy, so I bring my umbrella with me most places. Yeah, my big umbrella, the big one that's large enough to cover me, and not a small one that only covers my little head like I'm Totoro. Because that's what I felt like with that first umbrella. Because if you don't remember, when I first got here, I bought like a smaller umbrella that would clip onto my satchel so that I didn't have to worry about it and I could just bring it every day without thinking about it. It just clipped right onto my bag. So I always had it. And then the first time it rained, I used it, but my arms were just soaked because the umbrella was really small. So I bought a bigger one. So now it's like a full commitment if I'm gonna bring my umbrella with me because it's large. It's a big umbrella. Um, yeah, I just like hook it onto my arm or like whatever I can, and I try to forget it's there. And I'll bring it, but literally, I think there have been like 3 days that I went out without my umbrella after getting it. All 3 days it rained. One of them it was really bad. So I've come to learn that my umbrella is a charm that wards off rain. As long as I bring my umbrella, it just won't rain. Uh, yeah, it's just been very rainy. But again, I like the rain. I like when it rains. I like when I'm inside and it's raining outside. I like when I'm outside and it starts raining gently and then gets really heavy. I love the sound, I love the smell. I find it kind of refreshing in warm weather as long as the rain isn't super hot itself. Yeah. Raincoat, I should probably get one, honestly. I finally started adding to my wardrobe one piece at a time whenever I go out. I'm like, all right, wait, let me stop by this place before I hit the station. Let me stop by these places. Haven't gone thrift shopping yet though. That's what I really need to do now that I've got enough clothes that I'm not washing that I'm not doing laundry multiple times a week. Uh, yeah. Rain boots? No. No, I'm still dealing with my shoes that I brought with me. But I prepared a bunch of packages for my family to mail to me here from Kokiri Village. And the very first one that I was like, mail this as soon as possible. Low-key, honestly, wish I would have mailed it before I left. Was a box with 2 pairs of shoes in it and a couple other things. But the main target of this box is the shoes because I want more shoes to wear and I need more shoes to wear. I'm walking a lot, but I'm not going to be able to find them in a store, and I'm probably still going to struggle to find them online in my size, but I haven't tried quite yet. Mm. I just know this country is not built for people with feet my size, so I got to lock in. It'll be fine though. It'll be just fine. And stylish or more comfy, I like both. I think it's important to consider the occasion. Yeah, there are days where I prefer a more casual shoe, and there are days where I prefer like a more formal one. I got my boots that I wear to work. I got sneakers that I wear out in general. I've got a pair of cowboy boots that I like to wear sometimes, depending on the day. And it's nice. It's important to change your shoe with the context of whatever you're doing. Which is why it'd be nice to get a pair of boots specifically for rain. So that way, when I'm out walking, if I think it's going to rain, I don't have to come back inside with soaked shoes and wet socks. And then I have my cowboy boots shipped. Kimitsu desu. Nice yo. Nice up. I'll never tell. Maybe. Let's think. If I have a box and I can fit 2 pairs of shoes in it, and I've got like 4 pairs to get, which ones do you think I would prioritize? Nice yo. How do I style my cowboy boots? Just the standard way. You just wear them with jeans and whatever shirt you're wearing. I personally would usually go for like a flannel or like a collared shirt if I was going to wear my boots. Just standard style. Kind of like young Sheldon, honestly, is a way to describe it. Just no shorts. I'm personally not much of a shorts wearer. I'll wear shorts for comfort, but not usually when I'm going out. Mm. Yeah. Pants over boot or boot over pants? Both. No preference. I do a mix of both. Obviously not at the same time, but yeah, there are days where it's better to show the boot and days where it's better to cover the boot. It's kind of convenient because if you do the pants over the boot, it functions almost more like a formal shoe rather than cowboy boots. Like the tone of it is kind of different when you can't see the high rising part of the boot. Yeah, it's awesome. Mm. Oh my gosh, I dreamed about a song that doesn't exist. Like in my dream that I just woke up from. I should write that down. Hold on. It's actually very convenient because the name of the song that doesn't exist was Fa Fi 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 Fa, which is like Fa Fi 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 Fa. And that was like the melody in the pre-chorus. It was like dun 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 dun. Dun. That's how it went. The song that I dreamed about that doesn't exist. Uh, yeah, so if I write it down, maybe I can make it real at some point. FIFA, FIFA. Yeah. Hi, thank you for stopping by. Wink. I'm back. Kind of. I forgot one cable on one of my recent shopping trips for cables and other various necessities. And it happened that was my XLR cable that I forgot, meaning I have everything I need to stream now except for my microphone. I can't use my microphone. So I figured I would just do a phone call today before my next shopping trip, wherein I try and get a single XLR cable. Though I may just order it online, TBH. Though, come to think of it, because here's the thing. I was initially turned off by the idea of going to shop for it in person because I'm like, I'm not gonna find this. But you know where I would find it? It would be like a music and audio kind of store. And I've wanted to go to those anyway. I want to go to some music stores. I want to go to the places where you can like sample instruments. So maybe that's the next trip today or tomorrow. Hmm. Yeah, I'm almost ready. I'm almost ready. I've got almost everything. It feels so good. Do you know how long it's been? It's been so long. Oh, you know what? I've just realized something. Hold on. I've just realized something. Lock in for something crazy. You ready? I forgot to I forgot to adjust my bit rate. Yeah, it was still on the setting from Kokiri Village. You may notice like a slight jump. I completely forgot to change it. Uh, yeah, no, totally not on purpose. I had it on the old setting, which was meant to optimize for low capability. Yeah, sorry about that. We don't have to be 140p anymore. Yeah, I brought it with me. I packed in the 140p streams and phone calls and I put them in my suitcase. Locked it up, carried it with me onto the airplane. My carry-on. Uh, yeah, you should be able to see me more clearly now. Sorry about that. I forgot to adjust my settings on on here because I adjusted them on my computer already. But you know, I do these video calls also through my computer, but originally on my phone is how I do it. I kind of connect them so that it can be like a phone call, but a little different. And I forgot to adjust this profile specifically for this combo. It was still on the last one I used. Yeah. Am I Kila Kila? Am I Kila Kila? I think there are some Kira Kira filters on this app, actually. Do you want to play around? Let's see. Whoa, am I Kira Kira? This is a bit much. You like playing with phone filters? I always found it pretty fun. Whenever I do a FaceTime or anything like that, I always here, hold on. I think if I do like this. Whoa. Yeah, I sit and play with the filters the whole call usually. Uh uh-oh. Okay. Hi. Whoa. Meroi? You think this is Meroi? Well, here, I'll show you. Is this good? Or no, I bet the other one is better. Yeah, here you go. Metal Sugi Kana. La 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 la. You fall in love. 眠りに落ちてくように. It's so fun. I love that song. And forever, 君はもう僕のもの. So good. Yeah, Stream Melody now available on streaming. Music video now available on YouTube. Music video for Boku ni Melody, the Japanese version, coming soon. Very soon, like this week, I think, right? What's the premiere date set for? I can't remember. I think it's this week, like middle of the week, like Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you like the music video? You like it? I'm just glad it could finally be released. Very happy. Yeah, I just love this song. I want more people to be able to listen to it. The 25th. Oh my gosh, that's tomorrow JST. Pog. Let's see. Ooh, I love a good like bokeh. Is that how you pronounce this? Is it bokeh? 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 I've never heard it out loud, but I've seen it in visual effects for years. All right, that's enough. I've just about had enough. Mm, sounds like Vida Loca. I think I kind of get that with like the brass. I get you. I get what you're saying. Is it called Vida Loca though? Because that makes me think of Vida La Loca from Sable. That's what he thought. I don't know if you know this story. To summarize it, he was trying to mention Ave Mujica, the Bang Dream group, in a conversation with By the Beat forever ago. Um, and he could not remember what they were called, so he called them Vida La Loca and expected us to know what that meant. I was like, yeah, like Vida La Loca. And we're like, what? Yeah, as I recall, it's La Vida Loca or Living La Vida Loca. Yeah, I kind of get that with all the brass. We got a really cool brass arrangement for this song by Hade. Super, super cool. Really tied it together. Vida La Loca. Ave Mujica. I've been really hooked on Octagram Dance recently from that group. Body alright. Is you gonna jump? Yes, you're gonna jump. No, no, iteku. Gonna be the one, gonna be the one. That's no oro. Do you know that? I've been hooked on that. I've been listening to it a lot. So good. Octagram Dance. Highly recommend. I don't know. I heard it in like 4 ads and I said, that's enough. So then I just listened to it properly. A friend had recommended it to me like months ago though. So they were kind of ahead of this campaign. Hmm. Yeah, now that I'm here, I'm getting Japanese ads before all my YouTube videos, which is funny because a lot of them are actually more relevant to my interests than the ones I got before. So they're working on me. Now I'm susceptible to being advertised to. It didn't work very much in the States because most of the ads that I got were things that just actively turned me off. I'd be like, no, I'm never looking at your product ever again. I'm now blacklisting your product and all related products because of this advertisement in my life. But now I'm getting ads and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's a thing I like. I appreciate the notice about this. Ad, comma, Japan. Unironically though, it's showing me more like things related to anime and music. So like these are things I actually like. Uh, Immediately turns me off. I'm talking about ads that I used to get. Like if I saw an ad for something, a lot of the time I'd be like, all right, I'm never looking at your product ever again. If I see it, I'm gonna talk about it negatively because of this ad. Just because I would constantly get ads for things that I did not care about. Mm. Yeah, now I'm getting more ads that I want to see. And I'm like learning about things I'm actually interested in, which is kind of fun. Favorite thing I've noticed about Japan so far? Trying to think. Noticed implies something that I didn't know about before, right? Something that I've realized through experience. I think it's kind of convenient just how close by a convenience store always is. It's almost like an SCP type phenomenon. You know what I mean? Like it feels like something supernatural. No matter where you are, you can walk at most 3 blocks and there will be 2 convenience stores within the area. And if you get to know the chains, you'll know exactly what they have inside every time. They may have extra stuff, but there's like a list of basic essentials that they've always got fully stocked. So if you're ever in dire straits and you want a really affordable onigiri for breakfast, you, you can always trust that you walk in and it's there, you know? Do I have a favorite chain? I have one that I've used the most, I think, but I will not confirm which one it is. I've sampled a few, and I honestly have very similar items too, I've noticed. And I get the same items from different chains. Yeah, I will not confirm, mainly because a lot of the time when you pick your faction of the big chains, right, when you choose your team, more than preference, it seems like it's based on proximity. So it's better that I did not confirm that for you. Though I personally, I will say, I do not prefer a longer walk. And I actively have gone out of my way to go to further locations specifically for the walk to get there and back rather than any items that I wanted there. So telling you my favorite would not actually confirm much of anything for you. Yeah, I've had lots of rice. Rice has been my go-to breakfast in the morning for the most part. I haven't done it today. I have done my other thing though. When I wake up in the morning, I have either a cup of hot water or most of the time I have a cup of hot tea, and I drink it while it's still warm. And then I have a nice little walk and I get myself some onigiri, and that's my light breakfast. Because for me, I need a while till I'm like properly hungry and ready to digest a lot. Like I need at least a couple hours. Um, if I push myself to eat too much, sometimes I get a little sick in my tummy. So yeah, I prefer to have like a light breakfast these days, followed by like a proper brunch, followed by a big lunch, followed by a big dinner with tiny snacks in between. Oh, I've become a nefarious snacker, by the way. I started stocking my cabinet and my freezer specifically so I could feed other people if they ever came over. But then I started eating some of them myself. Recently, I'm particularly obsessed with nuts. I've been having so many cashew nuts. It's crazy. Nut of cashew. I've had so many cashew nuts. It's bananas how many cashews I have consumed. Yeah, I'm hooked on nuts. I'm just like pee pee. I love peanuts. I have some peanuts too. Yeah, I've been alternating between cashews and peanuts. And no serious negative reaction. Don't know what that's about because it used to be that peanuts in particular would give me like an itchy scratchy feeling. Yeah. Cashews. Yeah. Did you know that cashew is actually a fruit and the nut grows off of the fruit? Like cashew is not just the nut. It's actually like a main body that the nut comes from. And we don't really eat the fruit culturally. I don't know what it tastes like. I've always wanted to find out. Yeah, fun trivia for you. Take that to the bank. There's a cashew fruit, and it looks kind of like a green bell pepper. If you know what that looks like, it's kind of like a green bell pepper, but a little different. And then the cashew nut grows off of the bottom. And we do eat the fruit. I just feel like I never hear about anybody eating the fruit, which is why when people learn that the fruit even exists, they get kind of like culture shocked, like, you know, what do you mean? There's a fruit. Yeah. Did I know that bananas are technically berries? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Though, if we really get into it, everything is a fruit and vegetables don't exist. Have we talked about this before? There's this presentation that one of the like comedians on Dropout gave a presentation on specifically. Whoa, that was a funny sentence. I'd love to see that in writing. There was a presentation that one of the comedians in Dropout gave. And I talked about you with this. I talked about this with you previously, where vegetables don't exist. Everything is a fruit, but there are different kinds, right? Is that what it was? Name any vegetable right now. No, listen, I need to spread the gospel because it's true. It's true. And I think about it every time somebody's like, did you know that this is technically a berry? Did you know that this is technically not a vegetable? Nothing is a vegetable. They're fake. It's an arbitrary culinary term that we've applied to something scientific. It's not a scientific term. Cabbage, close, not a vegetable. That's a leaf. That is a leaf. Do you see my point? Kale, another leaf. That's a leaf. Carrot. Oh, so close. Root. Close. That is a root. Heart emoji. Like vegetable is a culinary term that is not very strict, is the idea. Like, yes, vegetables are real, but you can't really get into the technicality of vegetables, especially out of the kitchen. Like, tomatoes should be classed as vegetables, and people love to be like, well, technically, a tomato is a fruit. Tell me what a vegetable technically is. I need you to hear that TikTok video. Bum 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 bum. You know? Wow. Bum, bum, bum. Tell me what is technically a vegetable. Bum, 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 bum. That's me right now. I want you to define a vegetable for me right now. Define vegetable. Tell me what it is specifically. That means this can't be a vegetable. So I shouldn't watch TikTok. I've been clean of TikTok for months. How long has it been now? 8? Almost 9 months? I'm winning, all right? You got nothing to worry about here. I just replaced it with YouTube Shorts, which I don't personally scroll on for quite as long because I get satisfied faster. I'm like, okay, that's enough. And then I'm done. Yeah, 8 months no TikTok. I write it on cardboard and I hold it up. 8 months no TikTok. Please show me a few scrolls of your FYP, please. Please, I have no TikTok. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's kind of like an unkification process. I'm totally out of the loop when it comes to the newest memes. I'm just laughing at whatever's on my mind, which I think is better for me. But it does mean I'm gonna get called unk from time to time. Yeah, the unkification process of no TikTok, no doom scrolling. If I want to doom scroll, I just go to my art tag now. I go to my ego search tag. That's where I doom scroll. I love my life. Instagram Reels, you could not send me to Instagram Reels. You couldn't get me to open Instagram Reels with a gun. Like, you just can't send me there. I won't go. Nothing against Instagram. But I don't know. Maybe it's just my personal algorithm that I had back when I had an Instagram. I just did not like scrolling there. It just wasn't what I like. My personal preference. Though honestly, I'm not personally a user of Instagram to begin with. My experience with Instagram Reels now is when my normal friends send me Reels as a link over like text message, and then I have to open the link, and then I'm like previewing Instagram without having an account in a browser, and it's like, don't you want to make an account? I'm like, No. Oh. Latest TikTok obsession is I am pregnant with the world's greediest baby. And the lady makes really cool sandwich combos due to her cravings. Oh, but now it's I gave birth to the world's greediest baby. That's kind of cute. It's like a full arc. I didn't even know this existed. Ooh, but if you like that, I've got something for you. Did you know that years ago, I think this is like maybe 9 years ago now. I'm trying to think of how old I was, but my memory is a little blurry. Uh, this is a long time ago though. Burger King in Germany, or was it Burger King? I think it was Burger King. I'm pretty sure. They did a Mother's Day campaign event where they had special Whoppers based on the cravings of like mothers and or rather mothers to be specifically, or like mothers that were pregnant with more children, more fetuses gestating. Was it Burger King or was it McDonald's? It was one of those big fast food chains. Uh yeah, it was really interesting. Specifically for Mother's Day, they had they had a burger with cake frosting and little berries on it. They had one that was like it had a fish on it. There was one that was just covered in black olives. Hold on, I'll see if I can find it. Mother's Day minus AI. Pregnancy Whopper. The Pregnancy Whopper. 2022. Oh my gosh, that was more recent than I thought. I thought this was like years ago. Yeah. There's one with ice cream, so it's a Whopper with strawberry ice cream and strawberry syrup and whipped cream and French fries. And then there's one with tomato and olives and vanilla ice cream. And again, there's the Whopper with like cake icing and raspberries, and it's got little like layers of cake in between. There's one with pickles, whipped cream, tomato, onion, and ketchup. There's one. This one I actually want to try. Uh, a full banana sliced up, and then tomato, and then fried runny eggs. Oh, that looks so good. And then there's one with like a sausage and nougat poured on top. Yeah, this was a Mother's Day campaign where they made specialized Whoppers based on like pregnancy cravings. And really interesting. I want to try some of these, unironically. I want to make these from scratch myself so that I can have it. I don't know that these were properly for sale. Were these for sale? A lot of people responded to it negatively. They were like, there's no way they're selling this. But I genuinely can't remember if they actually sold it. Let's see. I think more than so these were on the menu, but for a limited time. So you could order these. But more than people actually eating them, their goal was to kind of shed light on like what pregnancy does to a person and what that's like for people to go through. I think. I'm pretty sure. It was like a social experiment more than a like an actual promotional menu. You know what I mean? And everything sounds good except the one with pickles. I think the pickles one sounds good, though if it were me, I would slice the pickles for that one, similar to how you normally would slice them for a burger, like the little sliced pickle pieces. Because this one has full, like the baby dill pickles on there. Mm, yeah, pretty interesting event from 2022. Way more recent than I thought it was. I genuinely thought this was a billion years ago. Could not remember. Could not remember for the life of me when this actually was. My gosh, time is moving so slowly in that case. Because I was like, yeah, this was forever ago. No, it was only 4 years ago. Sounds like something that come out of 2002. Yeah, I just add 20 years. 2022. Mm. Yeah. I don't know. I've liked a lot of unconventional combos over the years anyway. I think my personal go-to that is abhorrent to a lot of people, but that I prefer this way, because I've had weird combos from time to time, but then I don't prefer it. The one I prefer is if I'm having like out of the box mac and cheese and I'm not making my own cheese sauce for it, I need to eat it with ketchup. I have to have ketchup. That's just how I eat it. Specifically, like if I'm not making my own cheese sauce and making my mac and cheese properly, if somebody is serving me like out of the box mac and cheese with nothing special, no extra seasoning or anything, nothing to change it, I have to eat it with ketchup. You can't defend me? That's okay. I don't want you to defend me. I don't need your defense. I got myself. What brand? Any brand of ketchup. What I do, because this is just how I ate it as a kid, and I never stopped as I grew. I pour the ketchup on the side, kind of like I'm having chicken nuggets or French fries, and then I fork my mac and cheese, and then I dip it in the ketchup so that the ketchup is still cold and the mac and cheese is still hot. Because it specifically needs to be cold ketchup, hot mac, and then I eat it. That's how I have it. But again, that's specifically if I'm having it out of the box because I personally don't like it. I've spoiled myself by making really good mac and cheese. So the only way that I know how to eat like what I deem kind of gross mac and cheese is by having it with ketchup because that's just what I'm used to. Having it by itself is like a foreign experience that I just don't like. Yeah, it's the nostalgia factor, I guess. Mm. Your dad put ketchup on eggs. I've tried that too. That's pretty good, especially if you cook the egg like more like fried but not runny. Then it's pretty good. Or with scrambled eggs, ketchup is pretty nice too. I prefer it without though. I prefer to go all in on like a cheesier scrambled egg, and then I salt it and pepper it. Maybe throw in a little smoked paprika. Mm, yeah. And then here in Japan, it's actually really common to do ketchup on like an omelet, right? And you can even see decorative omelet ketchup stuff, like drawing and writing. Pretty cute. Mm. Do I have fries with ketchup? Yes. Either with ketchup or by themselves a lot of the time. By themselves. Syrup on scrambled eggs? Yes. Oh my gosh, do you do that? People have treated me like I was a little kid or crazy when they see me do that. That's kind of my preference if I'm gonna put anything extra on an egg. Oh, oh my goodness. Yeah, sometimes if I'm in the mood for something sweet, I'll just make regular eggs and then put syrup on them, kind of like their pancakes or waffles. It's really good. But my real go-to, if I'm in the mood for something sweet from the moment I start cooking, is French toast. I'm really good at French toast. I make disgustingly good French toast. Like I should be put into jail for how good my French toast is. It's one of my three specialties. Yeah. Isn't Japanese food tasteless to me? I wouldn't say that. I think there's just a difference in philosophy. Where I was raised, the priority in cooking is to season like crazy. Pile on the paprika, pile on the garlic, pile on the black pepper. Just pile on as much seasoning as you can fit in that goes together with each other. But I think the cooking philosophy in Japan is more about having good quality, fresh ingredients and doing minimal seasoning and like adding minimal sauce so that you highlight the quality of those base ingredients, right? Am I correct in understanding that? That's my impression of it. So it's really good food, and like it still has flavor. It's just different. It's just different than what I'm used to. Mm, yeah, just the difference in philosophy. I think tasteless is a very strong word, and it's not the one I would use. It's just I guess there's like a trend more towards a neutral flavor, but I like that too. I like that too. That being said, I have kind of missed already like my over seasoned pastas. So I think I may get into cooking what I can from home every now and then. Yeah, I do really like the more neutral experience a lot. It's very refreshing. Very safe as well. Very safe because there are times where I'm going to try something for the first time and I'm not exactly sure how it's going to go. But I haven't had a single negative first experience since I came. And I've had so many first experiences. So, mm, yeah. Missed salt while you were in Japan. Did you not have salt? You can buy salt from like any convenience store and a lot of restaurants have them at the table still. I guess not every restaurant. I do feel like salt at the table is more common in the States, huh? Come to think of it. Because I have definitely gone to restaurants where they did not have the salt shaker on there. But I've also gone to some where they had it, so I guess it's place by place. Mm. I don't know, like if you go to a this is one of my findings. It's interesting and you might not expect it, but if you go to a sushi place where they like bring out the sushi on the conveyor belt, they will serve you the best french fries you've ever had. Like the texture and the heat is always perfect and they're almost always fresh because people aren't ordering them as often. People are mostly going to a sushi conveyor place for sushi. Um, the one thing is that they may be undersalted by your standards, so I would check and see if your table has salt and then give it a try. Yeah, they do not play about those fries. It's just good. It's just good fries. Good fries. You wouldn't expect it from a sushi place, right? The focus is filleting fish and serving that fish over rice or like in a roll, right? That's the focus. But they do some nasty good fries, like crazy good fries. It's kind of bananas. Mm, yeah. So if you're ever in one of those sushi conveyor places, I recommend taking a chance. See if that specific place has good fries. It could be a place by place thing, but this is one of my findings so far is that sushi places uh yeah, sushi places just make good fries in general. Mm. Free refill hot tea. I think some places do, right? They'll have like the little faucet. I'm not too sure about whether it's like a norm or anything like that. My experience is still limited. Did I find white vinegar for washing my clothes? Not yet. I may have to order it online or just like Google a better place to find it. Phone a friend, maybe. I've looked for it. It could be that I've actually encountered it but haven't spotted it because I can't read a lot of the stuff that are on the bottles. I'm not gonna lie. So while I can read hiragana and katakana, I can read those. Uh, because they're kind of surrounded by kanji everywhere, I find that a lot of the labels when I'm shopping for things blur together, and I have a bit of a hard time finding specific products sometimes. I have to really take my time and look at each individual bottle and each individual box, and even then I still manage to overlook the product I'm looking for sometimes. So, I've gotten some really good practice talking, specifically because more often than not, I actually have to and I learn a word doing this every time. I have to talk to one of the staff members and be like, "Sumimasen, shodoku alcohol arimasu ka?" You know, like I have to hit them with this proper name or like isopropyl mo daijoubu desu. I have to use these words so that I can ask them if they have it, and then they're gonna look around for me, and find it and then be like, this is not rubbing alcohol, but ethanol should get the job done for whatever you need it for. So it's been good practice. Yeah, I've learned quite a few words just asking staff for help finding things in the stores. Yeah. Just be like, "Do you have this?" So that's what I'm gonna have to do realistically. I'm gonna have to go to a store and be like, "Do you have white vinegar?" And then I'll learn the word for white vinegar. Oh, yeah, very helpful. Oh my gosh, I didn't really talk about this. I probably shouldn't go into too much detail about it, but uh, you may know that my PC is built now. It's all reassembled, Ship of Theseus style. I had to replace quite a few of the parts, but it's the same PC for the most part. Or is it? You know, it's just like the Ship of Theseus. If you rebuild the same ship using new parts over time, is it still the same ship? Yeah, it's a new tower. I got a new cooling thing and also new power supply in the end. Those three had to be replaced, PC of Theseus, but the rest of it is the same as what I had in the States. Hmm. Yeah, I had asked a couple people or like vaguely talked with a couple people about getting help from them to build it, but the one to do it in the end was the only Claude Clawmark. It's so funny too. I remember I was out with a bunch of other livers, and I won't say who it was, but one of them was like, "Oh yeah, did you finish this thing I needed from you?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I finished it before I moved, but I forgot to render it. So as soon as my PC is rendered, I can export that for you and then send it over. As soon as my PC is put together, I can render that for you." And then Claude overheard this and he was like, "Wait, you still don't have your PC?" And I said, "No." And then he went, "Ah, I'm free tomorrow." You know, like classic Claude vibes, just I'm free tomorrow. So we spent basically like two days together. He came over and he looked at everything I brought with me and was like, "Okay, we need to get a new cooling thing. We'll go get that tomorrow." And then the next day we got it, and then he built it, and then he slept in my bed for like an hour. He said, "It's nap time." I was cracking up over that. I like dimmed the lights and everything, and when I came back, he was under the blanket. It was so funny. Yeah, he tapped out. It was a busy day for him. He worked hard. Yeah, shouts out Claude Clamerick. Thanks to that guy. I have a functional PC and it works perfectly. I've had no issues with it. So yeah, very, very happy. Yeah. Shouts out Claude Clamerick for also discovering a couple of things about my hotel room that I'm staying in. Because I had a like a ventilation problem that I could not figure out, and it turns out that there was a vent in here that I just did not open. So shouts out to that guy for discovering it spontaneously. He'd be like, "The air's kind of weird in here." And looks around for 2 seconds and finds in like seconds what I was looking for hours. Uh, the goat. Love that guy. Did he take a drink? Oh my gosh, yes! Because I told you, right? I told you that I've been filling my fridge up with drinks specifically for the case where somebody comes to visit my hotel room. I'm proud to report that he had 2 drinks over both visits. He had 2 drinks. I succeeded. I had a drink that somebody wanted in my fridge. Twice. Victory, resounding success, right? Yeah, it's exactly like I told you it would be. He came over and I was like, "Do you want anything to drink? Are you thirsty?" He'd be like, "You got cold water?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." Yeah, I got my in-home vending machine in my hotel room. uh, no, it was the same drink twice. Luckily, I had 2 of this one because I figured, I don't know. I've personally been drinking my water from the tap, but I figured the average person would prefer a bottled water and would prefer it as cold as they can get it. So So I kept a few bottles of water specifically in the fridge for if somebody came over. That way it's cold. Yeah. Yeah, shouts out that guy. Shouts out that guy. He is so dear to me, and he's done so much for me over this week. This last week, my gosh. Yeah, wishing him plenty of good rest and happiness always. Yeah, shouts out Clark. Uh, I'm so excited. I'm just cheesed. I'm just cheesed to have everything like almost ready. Again, almost ready. Because the PC is fully functional. I've started working full force again on stuff. I just need the cable for my microphone. And I should be able to find that if I look in the right place. So I'll set out again for that either today or tomorrow. Honestly, maybe tomorrow because I'm thinking today is a work day. But to be determined. To be determined. Hmm. Ow. I bumped my table. Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. Yeah. Love that I've been saying cheesed. I've been saying cheesed forever. Though you know what really is probably going on? Rather than me saying cheesed a lot, I think I just am more cheesed on average lately. Like I'm just happier. I don't know, I feel like I've always, maybe not always, for the last couple of years, I've been very happy, just generally, most of the time. But I feel that I am supremely happy all the time since I've come here. So even with the stress of some busy things. Namely, when you come to Japan, you have to do some things related to like registering addresses and you got to apply for health insurance and stuff. I had planned initially to ask somebody for help who's like fluent in Japanese, like to come with me and do it all. But in the end, I couldn't work up the nerve to ask anybody, so I just did it myself. That's where I learned the word kaisha, among a few other words. Um, yeah, I got through that process entirely by myself with baby vocabulary, and that was fine. But kind of stressful, right? Communicating with somebody when you can only talk like a baby, and they're speaking full sentences with words that you've never heard before. That's the thing for me, I think, is in a specialized situation like that, there's a lot of vocabulary that is specific to that undertaking that I just don't have. But I learned, I survived. Yeah. Shouts out the very patient lady at the desk who anytime I said, like, what's that word mean? She would always explain it. She'd be like, ah, omasu kudasai. And then she would step away and then she'd come back and she'd say, insurance card. Uh, yeah. Shouts out the very sweet, patient lady doing her very best to communicate with me. Uh, yeah. But that's taken care of. Very Toby Fox. Oh no, it was transliterated into Japanese. It'd be more like insurance card. Yeah. But my point is that she would say it in English if I asked. And if she didn't know what it was in English, she would step away and find out and then she'd come back. Yeah. It does kind of come off as Toby Fox when I do that though, doesn't it? Like what I said earlier about like asking about rubbing alcohol. Imagine the same sentence but like すいません, 消毒用 alcohol ありますか? If you do that, nobody's gonna understand you. That's how I like to speak though. I personally love doing that. While I can transliterate like an arukoru, I tend to one find it more fun and more me to be like, you know, like isopropyl alcohol ありますか? I just like it. Toho project. Uh, That one girl in Asobi Asobase. I want to watch that so bad. Every clip I've seen is so funny. The box of band-aids from Invader Zim. I think you mean adhesive medical strips. Yeah, do you know that? We've talked about this before, I think. There was an Invader Zim episode where they realized in post-production that band-aid is a trademarked copyrighted term. And so to avoid using it, they dubbed over every use of the word band-aids with adhesive medical strips, like the same clip. No matter which character was saying it, it was the same voice and it wasn't their voice, but it came out of their mouth anyway. Uh, adhesive medical strips. Yeah, so funny. And that exact inflection, roughly around there. It was like adhesive medical strips. Pretty close. Mm. Dropping fluent English in Japanese cover sounds cool. I'm glad you think so. Yeah, that is one area where I don't mind to do it as much. Because, in the context of a cover or an original work, there are usually going to be lyrics available on screen. So I don't have to worry as much about people understanding what I'm saying, or in this case, singing. So that's where I usually, if I encounter an English word, I prefer to say it with its original pronunciation if I can get away with it. The only time I'll transliterate to Japanese in a song is if it changes the rhythm. Because sometimes transliterating it to Japanese creates more syllables, and sometimes the melody needs those syllables to be where they are. Or if other people in a project are doing that, then usually I'll match what they're doing for consistency. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I just think it suits me. It's just me. It's just my vibe. Yeah. Yamero baka to wa, what is it? Yamelo baka to morality. I said that lyric wrong, by the way, and I never realized till it was uploaded. And then I read the lyric on screen, and I was like, "No, do janai desu ka?" like it's not do, yameru. But now I understand the lyric. It's like yamero baka, like stop it, idiot. I never realized what that was actually saying properly. I was like, okay, yameru baka. Nobody told me. Nobody stopped me. I was like, all right, here's my tracks. Here you go. I only noticed when it was uploaded to YouTube. I was like, oh man, I could have fixed that. Stupid idiot! I hate you. uh, yeah, Yamero Baka. I did that lyric wrong, and now you know. If you didn't notice it on your own, now you know. And now you can never hear it the same way again. Uh, who knows? Maybe I'll do it again at some point and get it right the next time. It'll depend on a few things. Mm. Yeah, fitting reaction for that lyric specifically, pointing at myself. Yo, little baka! Stop it, you stupid idiot! I hate you! How could you be so stupid? Gave me artist freedom, yeah, to get a lyric completely wrong. Yameru. I don't know. When I looked at the lyrics, I just misread it, I guess, because nu and no look very similar. So sometimes I mix them up if I'm not focused properly. Because for me, reading Japanese in Japanese is a very intellectual process. I have to think about it actively to convert it in my brain to what it's supposed to be. Mm, yeah. Yameru, new word just dropped. Or is that just a different conjugation? I know a lot of verbs, it will end in do when it's in its base form, like to do something. Which is which? Do. Do is the one with the curve at the bottom. And then do is the one that just looks like a three, right? I mix them up sometimes though. Yeah. Yeah, it just happens if I'm not focused, is the thing. Different conjugation. Okay, 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 okay. I wasn't sure. Yeah, I know a lot of the time verbs will either end in a do sound on their own, or you tag on like a suru at the end to make it like to do, right? In its neutral form, unconjugated. Or I guess that is also its own conjugation rather than unconjugated. But but yeah, yeah, wakaru. Wakaru is one of those. Or 自己紹介する is another one, like to give a self introduction. Talking about like tagging on suru to create the verb, right? Is that how that works? I'm pretty sure. I haven't properly studied Japanese. I've just observed it is the thing. And so sometimes I get things wrong. I assume incorrectly because my Japanese is purely intuitive, is a good word for it. I only speak it based on how I've heard other people speak it. I don't have an intellectual understanding of it. I just form judgments based on language that I've studied before, like Spanish, and learning how language works for English. Then I just apply it to what I hear. Mm. I need to study though. That'd be nice. It'd be a good thing to do. Mm. Going to Japan with no Japanese in your vocabulary. I think if you stay in Tokyo, you'll do just fine. Yeah, because in Tokyo, at least, especially tourist dense areas like Shibuya, Akihabara, a lot of things are posted in English as well as Japanese. It's kind of like that experience you have in certain areas of Canada where it's like English and French, if it's an area with more French speakers. It's like that. There are like a lot of areas in Tokyo that you can survive in without any Japanese as long as you speak English. Yeah. And English is a compulsory language in a lot of schools, I think, as well, right? So a lot of Japanese people speak at least a little English. So you can get by in an emergency as well, usually. Just very English friendly in general. It helps to learn as much Japanese as you can, though, I will say. I find that, I don't know. I don't know that other people feel this, but I kind of sometimes feel like an inconvenience if I'm not using any Japanese. So I push myself to use as much as I can. I don't want to be a burden on anybody, whether it's like staff at a store or the friends that are coming in clutch and ordering. I want to be able to do more things properly and for myself. So if you plan to stay long, I recommend studying a little at least, studying what you can. I think it helps to ease that feeling. But I guess it's not my place to speak for anybody else, but I don't get the impression that it's necessary. Like, I feel like you can do just fine and have a good time speaking English. More than language, I think the important thing to study is culture and unspoken rules because they're not the same in every country, right? For example, in the in the States, you might talk really loudly on a train and it'd be fine. But in Japan, some trains you'll see people talking more loudly, especially depending on the hour and how packed it is. But other trains, it's kind of expected that it'll be quiet. So the better thing to do is to kind of assume that the train should be quiet unless you hear otherwise. That's one unspoken rule. Otherwise, you're going to be an obstruction and like a nuisance. And that is one unspoken rule, for example. Or there's a bunch of other ones. Ultimately, they don't really matter too much, I figure, if you break it, but people will maybe look at you and be like, okay, exhale. Get a load of this guy. Like, I learned recently that you should not carry food with you and eat it while you're walking outside. It's seen as kind of rude or like just poor manners to eat while walking. I think you can get away with it. I've seen people doing it, but uh, it's generally better to eat while standing in place. Yeah, without moving around, standing in place or sitting somewhere if you have a chair, especially if it's nearby the place where you bought the food. That's like expected even. And then you can bring the trash inside. Yeah. Yeah, I did mention this to you previously, like recently. Yeah, that is another one that like again, just because it's different, you might not realize it coming from the States, for example. Because in the States, it's super normal to just walk around eating food and carrying your beverage left hand, your snack in the right hand. Mm, yeah. Stress. 日本語上手くなっています。頑張ってね。はい、いつも頑張る。こちらこそ。仕事頑張ってね。うんYeah. It's just good. That's what I recommend. More importantly than studying Japanese, I would make sure you're up to date on as many local norms as you can be aware of. So that way you don't become a disturbance to anybody. I think in areas that are really tourist dense, it's kind of expected that tourists will come in not knowing these things. So it's not as much of a problem, but especially I want to say especially if you're going to other areas that maybe aren't as dense in tourists. I recommend being a little careful about that. Yeah. Yeah. It helps. And that goes for any country, not just Japan. I don't want to make it seem like Japan is just this one country with a billion rules that you have to follow. I think every country has its own rules and standards. Yeah. Ooh, yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one. On escalators, you should not take up the left and right side at the same time. And if you're on the right side, you need to be moving up. Yeah, here's the way that escalators work. Escalators are divided just like a road, right? There's a standing lane, which is not quite like a road, but like there's the slow lane and the fast passing lane. If you don't want to walk up the escalator, you stand on the left side and you keep the right side clear. And then if you want to walk up the escalator to get up or down faster, you go up or down the right side. And it's always like that. Thankfully, in Japan, it's been super consistent from my perspective. You stand on the left, you walk on the right. The thing that confuses me is that when it comes to walking, like just on a path, like a street or like in the station, it seems like people are not always in agreement about whether you walk on the left or walk on the right. So I'm always getting confused and almost walking into people. Because, in the States, it's almost 100% of the time you walk on the right, right? You walk on your relative right. So people are coming towards you on the left, right? I feel like in the States, it's super convenient because people are, I don't know, I guess conditioned by the highway. They're conditioned by driving a car to do that. But here in Japan, I've experienced a solid mix of both, like everywhere. And some places it actually says like keep right or keep left. So it seems like even in the systems, it's not 100% left or right. Yeah. Like, uh, I just don't understand. Uh, yeah. I try to go with the flow of the crowd, but even the crowd seems divided sometimes. I'll see people taking up both left and right, and I'm like, I need you guys to pick a side. I get stressed out. I get stressed out if I don't know I'm on the right side because again, I don't know. I with my vision, especially my sides, like my periphery is really weak. I can only see directly in front of me. And so if here's the example. It's particularly important for me in a station to know which side I'm on and which side I should be on because I'm looking up and I'm reading signs, right? I need to be able to read those signs, which means if I'm looking up at the sign, I'm not going to see the people in front of me as well because I'm locked in on reading the signs. But if people can't decide on left or right, and people are coming and going in both directions on both sides and clashing into each other, I'm gonna bump into somebody because I'm not looking for it. I'm looking at the signs. And I got big feet. I'm gonna destroy somebody's tiny little shoe if I'm not careful. Oh my goodness. In Osaka, you stand on the right and walk on the left. Oh, okay. So it's the reverse of the escalators in Tokyo then. Well, that's interesting. I guess that makes sense though, that it would be different. Okay, then let me clarify that what I've talked about is Tokyo specifically. I have not visited Osaka yet. I'd like to though. I really want to. Yeah. Let me get my trip going. I'm sure there's plenty of good stuff to see. I think I'd kind of like to see it in summer. So maybe I could do it soon or just maybe like wait till next year. But I feel like Osaka's probably really nice in the winter too, right? Mm. Has my height hindered me in public transport? In so many ways. So many ways. Namely, there are times where I could technically take a seat, but I don't want to because I would take up more space than I feel I should. So I'll opt to stand up. That's one way it's hindered me. I would not hesitate to take these seats if I were just shorter, I guess. If I wouldn't have to cram myself between two very polite looking people that I don't want to bother. Um, and then let's see. I've bumped my head now, I think like 7 times on my way out of the train. Especially, I don't know, it happens especially often if if I'm talking to somebody, if I'm traveling with a coworker or a friend or whoever, because then I'm distracted. If I'm stepping out of the train, I have to like bend my head down so I don't bump my head. The door is always too low. Yeah, I bumped my head a full total of like about 7 times so far. those are two ways it's inconvenienced me. But it's also convenienced me in other ways. For example, I mentioned I really need to read the signs to get to the station. I won't know just intuitively which way this line is or that line is or like which platform is on which side. I won't be able to just know that. I have to see it on the signs. And I need to like read the posted signs on the walls to know which line I should even be taking so that I know I'm heading in the right direction, right? Uh, I have a very easy time reading these signs because I'm taller than everybody around me for the most part. I guess except for when I go to the really tourist dense areas, then I encounter people that are taller than me. Because I do think 6'1" is pretty tall for Japan, but just like a little tall for international, right? Like I met a few people that were taller than me growing up. Um, yeah, it just happens from time to time. So when I'm in tourist dense areas, I'm more likely to encounter people that are my height or taller. Yeah. But yeah, thankfully in the stations, because I'm taller than most, I'm always able to read the signs without any issues. So that's a convenience. That's a plus side. Pros and cons. Weigh everything and focus on the good stuff rather than the bad. That's how I like to live. So yeah. People in Japan tend to be shorter. Honestly, it makes sense. It's just like regional averages. That's totally normal. Totally normal. I think the same is in like you can observe the same in a lot of other adjacent East Asian countries. And then there are other countries where it's more common to be tall. And then my experience in the States was something a little bit closer to like diaspora is what you can kind of expect from the United States because it's like the melting pot country. So you have people from all over the world, which means you got people that are really tall and you got people that were really short. And I will say I lived in a very rural, mostly homogenous area, but even that wasn't like truly homogenous because you still had a bunch of different kinds of people. It was awesome. Um, so even in an area like that, there's like a ton of variety in height. There were classmates as tall as me or taller, and there were some that were super, super, super short. Yeah, that's just the way the world works. Totally normal. Yeah, there's nothing to drop a dizzy emoji over. Uh, percentage of homogeneity. I think we can move on. Uh, but yeah, yeah. Being shorter can be a disadvantage. It can be a disadvantage depending on the sport, especially a sport where you have to jump or get over something like volleyball or basketball. I'd always get told growing up, they'd always be like, Kaelix, you need to play basketball. And I'd be like, sure would love to. But when I was younger and interested in basketball, I couldn't afford to do any of the sports. And then when I was older and still vaguely interested in basketball and more able to do it, like pay for it, I was too busy to do it. So I didn't do any sports. And also at that point, I was like, it's too late for me to do basketball because everybody else on the basketball team had been doing basketball since middle school or earlier in a couple cases. So yeah, no sports for Calyx. I did yearbook though, and that was fun. And I did what else did I do? I did forensic speech, and that was fun. And I did this really cool, it's kind of like Jeopardy. I couldn't tell you what it was called, but there was this like academic contest, kind of like the mathletes from Mean Girls, if you've seen that, but it was for different subjects. I was on the English team. Yeah, it was pretty fun. Have I ever talked to you about that? That was one of the extracurriculars I did for a couple years. What they would do is they would be like, "We're gonna ask you any question we think of about these assigned readings, and we're not gonna go over every single one, but yeah, we could ask you anything about any of these books." And so on the English team, we would split up each year. We'd be like, "All right, you read these ones, you read these ones, you read these ones. I'll read this one, or like these ones." Um, and then we'd go, and then whoever knew the answer would buzz in and answer it. Forensic debate? Not quite. So there's forensic speech and debate, is how it works. Debate is a separate thing. Forensic speech is connected to debate, but not the same exact thing. Forensic speech is more about preparing a piece of oratory, like preparing a script and then delivering it. Whereas debate is more about refining your points and engaging in dialogue with somebody on an opposing side. They're a little different. Quiz bee, yeah, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that, like a quiz bowl. Yeah, it was like an extracurricular program that we had, and we would go and compete with other schools. And there was an English one, and a math one, and a history one. I wished that there was a science one because science was my best subject, but I liked English too, so I did my best. And I didn't even know it existed for the longest time. I only ended up participating because my Spanish teacher was the coach of the English team and was like, "Please, Calix, I need you to join this team. We're short a member, and I know that you like to read. I know you're a nerd, so please." And I was like, "Okay, I'll look past the fact that you've just completely profiled me because you're completely right." Yeah, I liked it. It was fun. I read some books that I might have otherwise not thought about, so that was nice. Excuse me, I'm still waking up. And I had a cool or like a few cool oriful moments. Yeah, no, straight up my Spanish teacher rolling in like, please, Calix, I need this. My team kind of empty. Uh, any recommendations? Ooh, which ones did I read for this? King Lear was one of them. Classic. Uh Oh, what were the other ones that I read? I'm trying to remember. A lot of these, honestly, are academic standards that if you don't read it for your school, like if your English class doesn't make you read it, then somebody else's does make them read it, you know? Like these kinds of standard, like study these books to learn English works. So honestly, even if I came up with the recommendations now, it'd be something you've probably heard about before. I can't remember exactly which ones were for this though. Animal Farm, yes, was on the list, but I wasn't assigned that one. I read that one though. I read that one separately. I love Animal Farm. Yeah, things like that. Shakespeare, I think so. Well, hold on, wait. Who did King Lear? Shakespeare did King Lear. Okay, I was second guessing myself because I just said a Shakespeare one, and you're like, any Shakespeare? Yeah, King Lear is Shakespeare. Double checked just now. You made me unsure. Yeah, King Lear was one of the ones I read for sure. 1984. Yeah, I think that was on the list. Of Mice and Men was on the list. Oh, I read that one. That one I don't think I was ever assigned for school, but I have read it, and I think I read it specifically for the English thing that I was just talking about. Fahrenheit 451. Yeah, I think that one's probably on the list. Yeah, books like these. You know exactly what I'm talking about now, right? Talking about Fahrenheit 451, The Great Gatsby, Lord of the Flies, etc. Books like these that you study that comprised like 70% of the assigned readings for this competitive English team that I was on. Yeah, Count of Monte Cristo. That's a good one. That's a good one. That is a really good one. Oh my gosh, I miss reading. I miss being literate. Oh, I don't read anything anymore. I don't read anything. I particularly miss reading my morbid short stories and my poems. I miss Edgar Allan Poe. I used to read so much. Yeah, I want to get back into it. I want to read more King too. There are lots of good King films, like adaptations of his novels that I loved, but I never read the books, so I'd like to read those. uh Audiobooks. I've thought about that. Especially now because I don't know, I have a lot of moments where I'm in the train where I could maybe bring my earbuds with me and listen to stuff. I'd find that a little bit easier than reading because I personally stand on the train most of the time instead of sit down, so I don't really pull out my phone. Um, but let's see. There's also I take a bath every night now because I have a tub that's large enough that I can sit in it and kind of like almost submerge my legs. They're still bent, but I can kind of relax in the tub. So could be nice to listen. Yeah, or I could listen while walking. I've thought about that recently. I personally like just reading though. I like reading on a page and imagining it in my head as that specific form of the experience. And also, I don't know if this is a unique experience, but I personally, as much as I love reading and as much as I used to read all the time, sometimes I have a bit of a hard time reading. Like there are times, and it's been the case since I was a little kid. I read super fast. I read super efficiently. I'm good at it. I vividly imagine the things on the page. But sometimes I don't fully process what I've read, and I have to double back and read it again a few times. And doing that in an audiobook is a little bit less convenient. Sometimes I need to go back. Like, wait, what did that say? I've read this twice, and I still don't know what just happened. Uh, I kind of enter like a what is the word? Like a trance state where I'm not thinking about reading. And so while I have a vivid picture, sometimes it gets blurry and I stop paying full attention. It's kind of like zoning out of a movie, you know? Yeah. Physical books or ebooks. That's my tragedy because I love physical books and that's how I always read before. But I think now I'd probably have an easier time with an ebook. So I've been thinking about getting stuff on my phone. Ginjoke has been kind of influencing me because he's been reading through the trilogy, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which is so fun because I really, really love those films. And he's never seen the movies, but he's reading the books now for the first time. Um, so I've thought about getting into reading again, seeing him enjoy these. Mm, I miss it so bad. Yeah, I probably have an easier time reading on my phone. Posture is a main thing for me. Reading on a phone is just better for my neck than like reading a book and my body too. I remember when I was a kid, I used to like contort my body into the funkiest pretzel positions ever to read a book. Uh, but now, I burn through this is the main basis of my theory here. I burn through Wikipedias for different video games and anime and stuff for fun. Like fanon wikis where they summarize the plot and character analysis and stuff for different things. I read through things that I've never played. Like I've read through the wiki for games that I've never played and will never play just for fun because I like to read wikis. I love the encyclopedic format, and I've gotten very used to doing that on my phone. Like I enjoy reading it on my phone that way, but I don't enjoy doing it as much on like on PC. Or for example, there was a franchise, I won't name which one it was, but there was a game franchise that I was into for a while that for a long time only existed in Japanese. There was no English version of the game for the longest time. And so if you wanted to play and read the stories, you had to find an English translation online. And those were typically formatted in the same like wiki-esque encyclopedic format, and I got really into reading those, and I got really used to that format. Uh, and so, I like that. I like that experience of scrolling on my phone and reading text oriented in that kind of way. So I do feel like I could transfer that into reading an ebook on my phone. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'd kind of like to. It'd be nice. It would be nice. I used to be such a literate, well-read person, and now I'm like a sham. I'm a fraud. I don't read anything. I don't even read the terms of service. I said it. Yeah. Book I want to read recently. I kind of want to revisit Dante's Inferno because that's the last physical book I was gifted, and I read through it, but I kind of want to read it again. And I don't think I got through to the rest of the trilogy because that one's also a trilogy. Like the Divine Comedy. You start in hell and then you move to purgatory and then you end in heaven, right? I only read Inferno, and my memory of it is kind of a blur. So I want to read it again and then maybe get to the other two. Yeah. So that's on my list. I kind of want to revisit that. Yeah, right. I'm missing out on all the juicy good stuff. Though interestingly enough, I do feel like of the three, and this is a very biased perspective of somebody who's not read the other two, right? So take this with a grain of salt because I don't actually know what I'm talking about. But I do feel like Inferno has a very crazy amount of cultural relevance, maybe compared to the others. Like, I think a lot of the things that people believe about hell and demons and stuff like that specifically comes from this book rather than, I don't know, because a lot of people, you would assume that a lot of these ideas come from like religious teachings and practices. But I think even ideas like the traditional image of an angel, they come from the Divine Comedy. But Inferno specifically is what people think of when they think of like hell and going to hell. So it's kind of interesting. It's interesting to read it and realize that, I think. Yeah. Recommend, especially if you can find a good translation, because the original is in Italian. The book that my friend gifted me was one of those translations where they have the Italian on the left side of the page, like of a spread, a two-page spread. The left page is Italian original, and then the right is a poetic translation to English that captures the tone and vibe. Mm. Yeah, literature is everything. it plays a big part in what we talk about and what we believe. So it's important to read what you can. I think we've talked about Dante's Inferno at one point because of Over the Garden Wall, right? Because Over the Garden Wall references Dante's Inferno, if you didn't know. Wink. Yeah, if you like Over the Garden Wall, we watched that together for Halloween last year. You could also enjoy Dante's Inferno because that's the base structure of the story. Which also, knowing this adds a layer to it, right? Because Dante's Inferno is about this guy named Dante going to hell. Like he ventures into hell and he sees all of it or most of it. So that kind of recontextualizes, like what are these boys going through if it parallels a story about hell so much, you know? One of those things. It reminds me of one of the really common theories that I think has been debunked about The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. It's been like 26 years. uh, the game came out in 1999, right? I think. Um, no, I think that was a 2000 game, actually. Uh, yeah, one of the common theories about The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask is that the entire thing is a parallel for death, specifically because of apparent references to the grief process, like the stages of grief. So a lot of people have thought like, oh, is this what he's experiencing? Because it's pretty close, the associations, but I don't know. I personally subscribe to a couple other theories instead. Okay, spoiler over. I don't know. I want to play these games in the near future. Now that I'm able to stream again, almost. So yeah, I'm like I gotta get into it. I gotta get into it. We still need to have a Zelda theory day where I just go through the lore. Do the YouTube shorts talk about this theory? The YouTube shorts from like the three creators that I get on my feed. Sometimes, but this is one of the older ones. This is one of the older theories. This is the probably the single most pervasive theory about the Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask ever. But I don't personally subscribe to that theory. I subscribe to a similar but different one, personally. I'll talk about it more in depth when we play it together, which will be eventually. I really want to play Ocarina of Time soon, so I figure our priority will be to finish Tears of the Kingdom within a few streams. Starting, I wanted to do it this morning. That was my original plan. I was originally going to surprise you with a Zelda stream, like now, but I don't have my cable for my microphone, so I couldn't play it today. So I guess starting next week, probably we'll get back to Tears of the Kingdom, hopefully. Yeah, I want to play and finish the original Ocarina of Time before the remake comes out so that I can experience that with you because I don't know. That was my first Zelda game, Ocarina of Time, so it's very, very special to me. And while I'm really, really excited for the remake, I need to give proper attention using my platform to the original version before then, if I can. Hmm. Is Zelda Sunday going to be my new Sunday? No, I plan to keep my original time spots that I've always had. So for Zelda Sunday, it will remain Sunday evening EDT. For me personally, it's going to become Zelda Monday morning, like Zelda in the Monday morning time, because Monday morning JST is Sunday evening EDT. Yeah, I plan to keep it the same as it has been. The one thing, and I'll warn you about this, the one thing that will probably change as far as time zone spot goes is karaoke. Karaoke is the one thing that is most likely to change, and I'll tell you why. If I wake up in the morning, I can talk and I can play games and I can do everything, but I cannot sing. I need several hours to warm up and to like rest my voice and to drink plenty of water beforehand. So I won't be able to wake up at 8 and do a karaoke stream at 9. I'll still do karaoke streams, What will probably change is when it comes to archived streams, the position of the original versus the rebroadcast is probably going to change. So up until now, I've been doing all of my karaoke streams in the evening EDT and then rebroadcasting them in the morning EDT. What's probably going to happen from now on is I'll be doing my karaoke streams in the evening JST and then rebroadcasting them if it's unarchived in the morning JST. So it'll still be a karaoke stream at the same time that I've always done. So you won't you should not rather is what I should say rather than won't. Like I shouldn't guarantee it, but I'm 99% sure. I'm 99% sure that you will not miss out on a karaoke stream in the time slot that you're used to. It'll just be the case that the original karaoke stream is not the one that you're used to, unfortunately. That is the one thing that I cannot provide in the same way now that I'm living here, because I plan to sleep at night and wake up in the mornings like I've always dreamed of. Like even just, talking with you right now and having the morning sun coming through my windows, it just makes me so happy. But yeah, that's the only way that I can do it. I plan to continue rebroadcasting as I always have so that I can be available to both hemispheres. Yeah, I think if you personally really value being there for the original version of a broadcast instead of its rebroadcast that comes 12 hours later, that is one area where I have to disappoint you. But I personally really appreciate the people that come to rebroadcasts, and I appreciate that you give me the time and the space to hold them myself. So it's very important to me that I continue doing them. Yeah, yeah. It's also flipped, technically. But I'll still be doing these karaoke streams mostly on the same days because you may have noticed I personally prefer to do karaoke on Friday and Saturday EDT. So I'll still be doing them mostly on like Saturday morning and Sunday morning JST, or rather Saturday evening, Sunday evening JST, and then rebroadcasting in the morning when I'm able to wake up and do it. Yeah. Again, though, I should still be able to do everything else normally in our original time slot as planned. Like I should still be able to do, calls like this or adjacent to this, like Zatsudan streams. And I should be able to do games of all kinds. The one thing I can't do right after waking up is sing, because singing is a complicated thing for me. I mean, I could, but it wouldn't be good. It would not be good. It would not be my usual standard. And I don't know. I think karaoke is meant to be fun, first of all. But for me, especially solo karaoke, I treat it kind of like a performance more than a fun time. So it's important to me that I have to have my water. I need to have my tea. I need to rest my voice for a few hours. I need to warm my voice up for like 20 minutes beforehand. I just can't do that immediately after waking up. Um, and if I did wake up at my usual time, then that would mean that I was doing karaoke at like noon JST, which is 11 p.m. EDT, which is a little late for my standards. So who knows? You may see a karaoke at some point that's like late night EDT, because that I could do. That would give me the hours I need, but I'd prefer to stay as close to our usual window of like 7 to 9 p.m. EDT start time as possible. That's my goal. And I plan to be as strict with it as possible. So yeah, just to kind of disclaim that there will still be karaoke streams. They're just going to be flipped for the most part, as far as like morning versus evening rebroadcast versus original broadcast goes. The exception will be any collab karaoke's that I'm not organizing. I don't determine the times for those. I don't contribute to the times for those. Those are booked without my involvement. So if I participate in an off like a dam karaoke, for example, that's usually not going to be in my usual time slot. For example, I did one recently with Claude and Zeal over on Claude's channel. Claude booked that, so that's at a time that he chose or that was available for him. Yeah, just to clarify that. Yeah, I plan to participate in literally any of those that I can. If there's an invite open, I'm gonna take it no matter what. I'll lie, cheat, and steal to cram my way into any karaoke stream I can now that I'm here. But um, Yeah, that the just to clarify, the time estimation that I've just given you applies only to my streams, specifically to my streams. Yeah, the slot should stay the same. That's all. TLDR. The slot will stay the same. It'll just flip for like broadcast versus rebroadcast. I'll do my best to keep it as consistent as I can. Mm. And thankfully, if I can plan with enough lead time, I should hopefully be able to do karaoke with more songs than before. Because the damn karaoke database has a lot of songs. It's like every song I could think of was on there. I just got to book it ahead of time. So I'm getting started now for the next few months ahead. And of course, I can still do karaoke the way I always have, like using Kara Fun for English and non-Japanese, and going to like Utachao and similar sources for Japanese music. So, mm. English songs and musicals, I think it may have had them, but honestly, I've had no trouble finding instrumentals for those to begin with. The struggle with English songs and musicals is permissions. It's very hit or miss. Some musicals are okay, other musicals are not. In fact, most musicals are not okay for streaming because the copyright law surrounding musical theater is very strict. I'm sure you understand. Usually you have to get a license from the rights holder of that musical to perform any of it. And that makes sense, right? Because the industry of musicals is built so that you pay a license and then you ticket, like you make a profit by performing it. So musicals in particular are actually really hard, as much as I love them. Main reason I haven't done another musical theater set list is because I used literally every song I could find that I was able to do in the first one. Yeah, right. It's a livelihood, so it's important to charge for that kind of thing. But that it makes the rights very complicated when it comes to trying to find ones that are free for streaming and like okay for streaming. Yeah, I'll keep doing my best. Yeah, no, I've got no shortage of instrumentals with those. It's specifically the rights internationally as well, being under a Japanese company. I'm sure you understand. Um, yeah, I'll do my best to do more in the future. Honestly, I've been avoiding doing musical theater in my mixed set list so that anytime I find one that I can use, I just kind of hold on to it so that I could build up a new musical theater set list. But I may just start sprinkling them in random other ones and just give up on a full set list again because I don't know if I can get enough songs to fill one up. Uh, yeah. Yeah, that is one of the rules of damn karaoke. It cannot be clipped. So if it's an unarchived karaoke, I'd probably go for a different source. That way it's easier to rebroadcast. Yeah, Disney is honestly pretty adjacent to musical theater. That I could definitely do. Did I cave and buy the ukulele? No, I'm being a financially responsible adult. I have not purchased a new ukulele. Thought about it, thought about it, and I'm not gonna lie. Odds are to get this cable that I need, I'm probably gonna have to go to a music store or two, see if I can find an XLR cable. Which means, there's a chance. There's a chance that I'll encounter an instrument I want. Who knows? We'll find out together. Full report whenever I stream again. Uh, Does Into the Woods count as Disney? I think it's honorary Disney. I think it is honorary Disney. I included Last Midnight as a Disney villain song, didn't I? Or was that set list explicitly Disney villain, or was it just villains in general? I can't remember. Yeah, I think it's honorary Disney because Disney got the rights for the live action version, and the live action version is the only one that a lot of people know. So, or not the what is it called? The like the movie version. Is that what I should call it? The movie version, because it's human actors in the original production, obviously, but yeah, Disney got the rights for the movie version, and that's the version that people know most often. I find. Yeah, so it's like honorary Disney to me. Have I tried Omnicord? No, but I actually no, I have tried it. or I tried. I think the one my friend had was a Q cord. I visited a friend once who had one, and I want it so bad. I want one of those. I've thought about looking into finding one of those. And I think there's one company that makes special modified ones that are like even more capable. Like they do more chords and stuff. Because I think the original isn't in production anymore. So there are only things that are similar to it. Yeah, I want an Omni chord or a Q chord so bad, or anything similar to it. Yeah, no, Bernadette Peters in the original production as the witch, that she's like the highlight of the show for me. I need more people to watch the original. Fully accessible and available to view on the internet, by the way. Wink, wink. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. I love Into the Woods. So good. And honestly, it contextualizes a little bit more when I say that my dream role is Jack from Into the Woods. I find that when I share that with some people, they get confused because in the movie version, Jack is a little boy. He's a little kid. Um, but in the original production on stage and in adjacent on stage productions, Jack is traditionally played by an adult. Mm. To sing a company song? Oh, I'm about to devastate you. Rest assured, I would have. No further comment. Deep exhale. Company's probably my favorite musical now, honestly. I've been oscillating between Into the Woods and Company for the last year, and I think Company might be taking number one for me. Yeah, I love it a lot. I love it a lot. Lots of really good iconic songs from that one too. Like, what is the word? Particularly distinctive songs in the field of musical theater. Multiple come from Company. Like, if you had to make a list of 10 most iconic or interesting songs from musicals, I feel like at least two or three of those, at the very least two of those, would come from Company. Yeah, Not Getting Married has to be on that list, right? And that is from Company. Um, I personally think Ladies Who Lunch has to be on a list like that, and that's also from Company. Mm. Is it a recent musical? Well, it depends on how recent you consider recent to be, but I'll say it's a Sondheim production, and Sondheim is no longer with us. So that can tell you something about like how recent it is. I think it's from the golden age of musicals. I personally prefer, like, my favorite musicals are the ones that were released between 1980 and I want to say like 2005, maybe 2010. I find that those are the best ones. This is in that window, right? I got to double check. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Company was 1970. That's even further back than I thought. I personally thought it was like an 80 production. But that, I guess that's because of the revival in 1995. That's probably the one I'm more aware of. Yeah, Company's from the 70s. Yeah, I gotta bump my skill down. I think the golden age of musicals is 1970 to 2005. I gotta change my answer. I gotta go in with my eraser. Change one digit there. Yeah, the golden age of musicals is 1970 to 2005. I personally have not heard many musicals post 2010 that I particularly really liked. Like, there are songs from certain musicals that I thought were good, but I'm a bit of a I'm a bit of a boring grandfather when it comes to a lot of a lot of the musicals that I like. Mm. They did a new revival with the protagonist as a woman. Wait, that's so interesting. I wonder how that works in context because ooh, that actually. Wait, I'm thinking about this because here's the thing. In Company, I'll summarize the plot without spoiling too much because the plot becomes really obvious as soon as you start the musical, in my opinion. So Company is about this guy, and he's got all his adult friends. Right, he's a grown man, and all his friends are adults, and he's single, but all his friends are in different tiers of relationships. Like there's an old married couple that's been together for a while. There's an engaged couple that's due to get married really soon. Things like that, right? And he goes from friend group to, or like friend pair to friend pair, interacting with them. And as he sees them in the different stages of their relationships, positive or negative, he's kind of processing the fact that he's on his own and realizing that like all he really wants is what? You know? I can't, I guess I shouldn't say too much. Uh, but for me personally, my interpretation of the film, or not the film, of the musical rather, and my personal interpretation of it, one of the underlying factors in play is the pressure for a man to find a wife in modern culture. Like there's a serious value on the family unit. So as a man, there's this unspoken urgency, like get married, start a family. Thinking about this with the protagonist being a woman, it's crazy in my mind because I feel like while there is pressure for being a man to find a wife, I feel like the pressure as a woman to find a husband is insanely different, right? Like that's crazy. That's gotta be really good. I never thought about that. Yeah, no, that's kind of crazy. Mm, I gotta look into that. I gotta look into that. Yeah, it's like an entirely recontextualized experience for the protagonist if it's a woman. The experience of this world is just very different based on your gender. So things like that matter. I'm gonna look into that. Yeah. Oh shit. Thank you for sharing. They have a tiny desk performance? My awesome Sugoi life. Falsettos is getting a revival soon? What? Oh my god. Wait, this is like this is like the best year ever for me. I didn't even know these things. I'm so out of the loop. That's another one of my favorites. What the heck? Well, hold on. I want to know about this. My god. Is it 2027? Who's Trina? Who's Marvin? Who's Wizard? Scratching my head. There's no way. Wow. Awesome. I love my life. My awesome Sugoi life. Oh my gosh, I should see something here. There's a really rich musical culture in Japan too. Granted, these musicals are generally going to be in Japanese, so I'll have to lock in. But maybe I could see a like a production in person of a musical that I've watched as a film or like as a recording. That could be fun. And then that way I know the plot, so I have an easier time following without all the vocabulary. Lock in. Uh, yeah, stage plays are really big too. I've always been interested in those. Mm. I remember being so curious about some of them. There used to be like a Death Note stage play musical that I was really interested in. And Kuroshitsuji had one as well. Ensemble Stars has a running series of stage plays that are supposedly really good. I think A3 does it as well. Yeah, lots of stage plays. Ah, I'm in so much danger. Ah, every day that passes, I realize how accessible these things I've liked online are to me now. It's kind of dangerous. Your Lie in April musical is surprisingly good. Honestly, that wouldn't surprise me at all. You mean to tell me that the musical themed around an anime that is based on live performance and music is good? Who's surprised? Not me. Dangerous in a good way. Uh, Dangerous in a neutral way. Because here's the thing. This is especially strong and poignant with underground idol groups. I have I've been casually interested in underground idol groups for years, watching their videos online and finding any footage of concerts that I can and, following posts on social media. Uh, but there's been a degree of separation for me from them and from the scene by physical distance, right? Because I'm far away, I can't go to these concerts. I can't apply to these raffles. I don't have a Japanese phone number. I can't participate in these things. So it's been very easy for me to budget enough time for me, right? Without getting super invested, which is a bit different for like say virtual idols that I've gotten into, like franchises, Love Live, Ensemble Stars, where because it's more accessible to me, I get super invested. I lock in on it and it becomes my life for a little bit. But now if I visit Akihabara and I walk down the street, there are idols in costume handing out flyers being like, come to my show. Or like the cafe recently opened, please come watch our song. I want to take every single flyer. I've talked to you about this. I have to lock in to not engage all of these people and become like a total otaku. Like I'm in serious danger. Like I might have to quit my job and, and start going to these concerts full time instead. Uh, it's so dangerous. I've never been this close to it, and now it's like super accessible. It's like maybe a train or two away. Yeah, I might be in danger. What about going to one? Oh, you can't trick me. Because you know what happens then? I'll be like, one more wouldn't hurt. Oh, why not go to the next one too? And then I'm sucked in and I've got an Oshi and I'm spending all my money and I'm always there at the concert. I can't get invested. It's too dangerous. My heart is too vulnerable to it. I can only be a casual fan. I can't. I can't. But maybe just one. Maybe I could just go to one concert. Hmm? Uh, Any current idol groups that I listened to recently? I will say the ones that I listen to personally these days are on the larger side now. For example, I love Miruku. That's a really recently trending, super popular group. I like Panda Dragon. I've liked them for a while, a few years now. Recently, I'm getting newly into, oh, what are they called? Nabusync. Lovesick. It's like Lab Sync Lovesick Nabushiku. Yeah, I've been getting into them recently. Yeah, I like groups like those. I used to be more into the girl groups, and I think my preference is honestly for the girl groups. But more recently, maybe it started as market research. I don't know. I've been listening to more of the boy groups. Yeah. Oh yes, I cannot neglect to mention my goats, Phantom Sita. I think they're my favorite right now. As far as like what I enjoy listening to and what I enjoy looking at and supporting. Oh my gosh, do you think I can go to one of their lives? But yeah, I think Phantom Sita is my favorite, but the ones that I'm listening to the most lately are the like the boy groups. Mm, yeah. And I guess it's because that's most adjacent to what I personally want to do and what I want to become, I guess. So listening to them, it's like it's enjoyable because I like the standards of the genre, but it's also kind of like inspo, you know? Yeah. Fingers crossed. I'll do my best. Oh, but I'm noticing the time. I was supposed to call with you for like an hour. I was supposed to call with you for like an hour. It always happens. It always happens that I'll be like, all right, Calyx, 1 hour, maybe an hour and a half. And then 2 hours later, I'm like, oops. But yeah, I have to go. Unfortunately, I have to depart now. I just wanted to talk with you for a little bit. Now that I have like most of the things I need. I set out to stream today. So even if I couldn't do a proper stream, I figured I'd at least call you over the phone since I squared away time to do it anyway. I'm gonna work out those cables, or rather, honestly, probably just single cable that I need, within the next day or two. And then once I have it, I should be able to commit to a schedule for this week. Oh my gosh, do you remember weekly schedules? Do you remember weekly schedules? Which, by the way, I personally want to try keeping them in the same time zone as they were originally written. We'll game it out for a few weeks and see if I have a hard time. If I have, I'll warn you that this may also change. If I have a hard time writing the schedules due to the time zone difference, I may switch it so that it's base JST and then offer the conversion to EDT instead of vice versa, depending on how hard it is for me to write. But I think I'll be fine. I just have to put it in my calendar in JST and then put it on the ticket in EDT. So should be fine. Yeah, should have a weekly schedule. If not this week, then definitely next week. But I'm thinking I'll have everything together reliably enough this week to do it. So, yeah, should be able to start playing games again. I gotta lock in. There's so many things I've missed, so many games I've abandoned, but not by choice. It's not my fault. You can't blame me. You can blame my friends from Kokiri Village. Yeah, I gotta go. It's been real. I hope that you had a good time today. It made me happy that we could properly talk. It's been too long since we've gotten some proper FaceTime in. So yeah, I'll do my best to work out the XLR cable that I need as soon as possible. Honestly, I may go for it today. We'll find out. Um, and yeah, I'll keep you posted on what that looks like in the end. Mm. Should be, if I get it, I should be good to stream again in the mornings, just whenever that's resolved. Otherwise, let's see, maybe I could give you some tentative stuff for this week without the full schedule, assuming that I have everything I need to stream by tomorrow or the day after. If I go to my calendar. La 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 la. La 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 la. Oh, yes, help me. Let's see. Okay, here are a couple things that should happen for sure because they're commitments that I've made with other people. I'll have a collab. Oh my gosh, I have to get used to this. I have a collab Wednesday night EDT. Has it been announced by anybody else? Should I just announce it? I don't know. Maybe I should just say it. Here, I'll say the game, but I won't say the people. I joined in a collab for Water Park Sim, Wednesday night EDT, Thursday morning JST, or Thursday noon JST. Yeah, a collab of Water Park Simulator. I've never played the game and I know nothing about it, so that'll be fun. And then Thursday night, Friday morning, right? Thursday night EDT, Friday morning JST. I'll be in another collab of Fortnite. Yay, Fortnite. We like Fortnite. We like Fortnite. We like Fortnite. So I hope you can enjoy those. I can tell you about those for sure. The rest of the week is pending based on what I can achieve today and tomorrow. I got to lock in and get a couple things and also resolve a couple things like communications related. So I'll keep you posted as best as I can. Yeah, Fortnite Battle Pass. I have no idea what's going on in Fortnite right now, but yeah, somebody was like, "Let's play Fortnite," and I was like, "Okay, let me in." It's been a minute. Let me have my shooter game of choice. It's the only one I play. POVs for both. I should be doing POVs. I expect that I will do POVs. If I cannot work out my tech situation completely, then I might not do a POV, but I should do one. I expect that I'll do one. I am 90% certain right now. And I think tomorrow I'll be 95% certain. And then by then I'll be 100%. It should be a rising number. So high likelihood of a POV. But worst case scenario, I'll play without streaming. Yeah, worst case scenario. So I guess be prepared for that scenario, but don't expect it. Yeah. I like those odds too. Oh, latest news is a Sonic collab. Oh, okay. Well, that kind of maybe I shouldn't have even bothered being vague about who I was playing with. But yeah, I hope you can look forward to that. I'll keep you posted as best as I can. Try to get a schedule out soon. I had to wake up. Yeah, I'm gonna go take my proper morning shower. Though at this point it's an afternoon shower because I called with you for 2 hours instead. And then I'm gonna go start my day. Yeah, I hope you can have a beautiful time wherever you are. I hope that you get some good rest. I hope you get some good food. And as always, I hope you stay safe, all right? Stay safe. Take care of yourself. Take care of your body. Get some good activity in when you can. Stretching, exercising, it all helps. A little goes a long way. Um, yeah. Okay. I'll see you again soon. As soon as I can. As soon as I can. Honestly, maybe even a double stream day. You may see me like morning tomorrow EDT, depending. I kind of want to do a member only. It's been a minute. We'll find out. We'll find out how it goes. I wish I could keep you more posted right now, but it's all like case dependent. So yeah, I'll let you know when I know. Mm, Thank you so much. All right. Till next time. Bye bye.